Hey everyone, welcome back to TechOps tutorial. Today we are going to solve one of the most common and frustrated problem in Kubernetes. Service is running, but it is not working. The pod is running, the service exists, but when you try to access it, nothing happens. In this video, I will not show theory. We will break a service on purpose, then fix it like a real admin do. We will cover wrong label selectors, wrong target port and container port, endpoints not created, DNS not working, CoreDNS error, and a cluster IP testing. Everything will be done using YAML, just like a real cluster. Let's get started. I have already created a YAML file named as broken-app.yaml. This is the YAML file. This YAML looks fine, but it has two hidden mistakes. I have mentioned here as a wrong labels. The service is selecting the wrong label and the service is sending traffic to a wrong port. Let's apply it. Apply -f broken-app.yaml. Deployment and service are created successfully, so YAML syntax is fine. Let's check kubectl get pods. Pod is running. Pod is running, so the application itself is not the problem. Let's check the service. Kubectl get svc. Service exists and has a cluster IP. So Kubernetes created it correctly. So let's check kubectl get endpoints web-service. You will see endpoints is none. This is the real problem. Service has no pod connected. A service without endpoint is like a phone number with no phone behind it. So let's check the labels. Kubectl get pods show -labels. The pod has a label app equals to web app. Remember this. Kubectl describe svc web-service. You will notice the selector app equals to wrong name and pod label is app equals to web app. Now everything is clear. The service is looking for app equals to wrong name, but the pod label is app equals to web app. That is why endpoint is empty. Let's fix this. So the Kubernetes is working fine. The issue is only in our configurations. Let's fix the service selector. We can do it with kubectl edit svc web-service. I am changing the selector from wrong name to web app. Save it. I have changed app equals to wrong name to a web app. Now let's check the endpoints. Kubectl get endpoints web-service. It was a typo. Here you can see earlier it was endpoint equals to none. When we updated the labels, we received the endpoint. The endpoint is created. This IP is the pod IP. Now the service knows which pod it should send traffic to. Now the service has the endpoint, so it is connected to the pod, but that still does not guarantee it will work because traffic also depend on ports. Let's test from inside the cluster. Kubectl run test box -image equals to busybox. I will use RM. Once the testing is done, it will get terminated. Hyphen give the shell. I'm testing the service from inside the cluster using busybox. So I'm now inside the cluster. Wget hyphen q0 will give web hyphen service. Here you can see wget hyphen qo capital O hyphen space web hyphen service. You cannot connect to a remote host. Connection is refused. What it says? The connection is refused. This means the service reached to the pod IP, but the container is not listening on that port. So the service is connected, but traffic is hitting the wrong port. Let's check the service port and the container port. kubectl describe svc web hyphen service. Not here. Exit it. kubectl describe svc web hyphen service. The service is sending traffic to a targeted port 8080. The target port here is 8080/TCP. Now let's describe kubectl describe pod web app. Search to the container section. Here you can see the port is 80/TCP. The container is listening on the port 80. So the service is sending traffic to a port 8080, but the container is only listening on port 80. This is like calling the right house but ringing the wrong doorbell. Let's fix it. kubectl edit svc web hyphen service. I'm changing the target port from 8080 to 80. Go to the port section, scroll down. Here you can see the targeted port is 8080. I will update to 80. Save it. kubectl run testbox hyphen image equals to busybox rm hyphen it hyphen sh. I'm testing it again from inside the cluster. We'll run wget hyphen q capital O hyphen give web servers service web service. Now it works. We can see the Nginx page. Welcome to Nginx. That means the service is sending traffic to the correct container port. Now the service is fully working. Now let's quickly confirm DNS is working inside the cluster or not. We'll run ns lookup web hyphen service. The output is, here you can see the name and the IP address. The service name resolves to its cluster IP. DNS is working inside the cluster. You may see NX domain message from some suffix like .cluster, .local or svc. Here also you can see svc.cluster.local. These are normal. Kubernetes tries multiple domain variations. What matters is the main name resolves, which it does here. If DNS did not work here, the next step would be to check the CoreDNS pods and logs. I will just show you the commands. Let me exit from here. I would have checked kubectl get pods kube-system get ports -n. This is the namespace kube-system. Here you can check if it is working. It will show the status running. kubectl logs, give the namespace kube-system. I will give k8-app equals to kube-DNS. If DNS is broken, services cannot be accessed by a name even if the service itself is running. So now we know the service routes traffic correctly, DNS resolves inside the cluster, everything is working end to end. Whenever a service is not working, always check pod is running or not, service exists, endpoint is not empty, labels matches selectors, target port equals to container port are same, DNS resolves inside the cluster, test from the pod inside the cluster means ClusterIP response. The most beginner only checks kubectl get SVC, they forget to check the endpoints, and that is where the real truth is. Even if the service exists, no endpoint means traffic cannot reach the pod. These exact same steps works on Minikube, kubeadm and Cloud Cluster because service and DNS behaves the same everywhere. If this video helped you fix your Kubernetes service, give it a like, subscribe to our TechOps tutorial, and I will see you in the next troubleshooting video. Thanks for watching.